of racist marijuana arrests throughout the United States. We have a website that's basically about a month old, marijuana-arrests.com, not .net.com. We've got a lot of the data about New York. It's the place where we first did our work, and it's got stories, it's got graphs, we've got charts, we've got stuff about the collateral consequences. We'll soon have stuff about illegal searches. We really sought to make the website a kind of go-to place for information about marijuana arrests. You can reach us through there, and there are 3 of us running around in the conference. We're going to try to have a session tomorrow afternoon at the sort of the last session before the plenary. We don't have a room, but we're going to seize one. But we'll have some kind of meeting place at the DPA table. Oh, now we have a meeting place, the DPA table, where we'll try to talk about this in a little more detail. We have data for lots of cities in the United States. The basic fact, I mean, I guess the basic sort of story is that really since the 1990s, the United States has been on an astonishing arrest campaign for possessing tiny amounts of marijuana. 750,000 marijuana possession arrests. These are misdemeanor arrests with exactly the consequences and many more that you heard of just now. Every major city and every major county has got large numbers of these things, just about. The only place in America that is not making large numbers of arrests, so the only places are, I know you're going to be shocked to hear this, large, suburban, white, wealthy counties. Fairfax, Virginia, Fairfield, Connecticut, Contra Costa County, California, do not make lots of marijuana arrests. But every place else does. And every place, and I mean every place, blacks are arrested at a double, triple, quadruple, 5, 7, 10 times the rate of whites. Every national survey finds that young whites use marijuana at higher rates than blacks and Latinos. This has been true for as long as anybody can keep track of that information. It is true everywhere. But everywhere, blacks and Latinos are arrested at much higher rates than whites. And in Atlanta, in Baltimore, in Cleveland, in Indianapolis, in Nashville, in Memphis, in San Antonio, in Houston, in places where you wouldn't even think it would be, like Minneapolis and St. Paul. The arrest rate for blacks is 10 times the arrest rate for whites for possession of marijuana. In New York City, more people are arrested for possessing marijuana than any other offense whatsoever. That is likely true in many other places. Or if you, in the western places, you drop out the car arrests. For ordinary crimes, more people are arrested for marijuana than for anything else. Second place is often possession of all other drugs. What we have, I really think, is a scandal. Is a massive, major scandal. And that I believe that the first solution to this scandal is not the one that lots of people think of, which is we need to pass a law to fix it. I do not think the first solution to this problem is legislative, because we can't win legislative unless people know about it. I do not think that the solution to this is judicial. It is not through the courts. We're going to win some kind of court victory that's going to stop it, although the courts may play a place in it. The first sort of level of resistance is to expose what is going on. And there is criminal justice data for major cities and counties in the United States. And we have some of it. You can get through the FBI, and we can help people do it. There's enormous room for local projects here to reveal what's going on. The arrests are often presented as minor or unimportant or inconsequential, just as many people think. But in fact, these things have enormous consequences. Criminal records are now permanent. They're on the data. They're on the internet. People can you go to Google and type in criminal records, and you'll be confronted with a list of firms that for $20 or less will do a criminal background check with a name and address, maybe a social security number or a birth date. All large box employers, from the fast food restaurants, Home Depot, doesn't matter, they will do searches on it. And, landlords, even for like 2, 3, 4 rental units, because it's so cheap, they will do a search on these things. Marijuana arrests show up often not as a marijuana possession arrest, but as a drug arrest. As an unspecified, they don't even what exactly somebody was charged with. And these records are essentially unexpungible. The licensing boards for barbers and beauticians and nurses and school teachers and a whole certain construction industries, security guards. The employers will be notified, so people have licenses, that somebody has been arrested. They will be notified that somebody holding a license, the employer will be that they've been arrested, and people will lose their license, and then the employer say, well, we can't hire you anymore. You have to, they're either laid off immediately or just flat out fired. Again, this is overwhelmingly being done to young people. The majority of the arrests are people under 25 years old. Neither all of them are under 30, and somewhere between 40 to 50% of them are teenagers. There is a push. In New York, we have really done an amazing thing. The DPA, grassroots groups, and others have exposed this, and we have. Gabriel has gotten people from the city council, the New York State legislature, to talk about it. They can't pass the legislation. It's not, at least not, they couldn't do it last year. Maybe there will be some legislative fix, but it's the exposing that makes the other things possible. But the solution for the police departments, the solution for legislatures, is to turn these things into what are called violations, or in California they're called infractions. I call them sub-misdemeanors. And these are not inconsequential either. These too can be tracked by police departments and courts. They too can show up as criminal records. They too can wind up with consequences. One of these non-criminal infractions, right, 2 of them can get somebody deported. Non-criminal violations for possessing small amounts of marijuana can get somebody deported. And one of them, somebody goes back to Mexico, Dominican Republic, or Jamaica, or someplace to visit a relative who's dying, or grandma is sick, or sister's getting married, and they can't come back into the country with one. So there's amazing and remarkable and very gratifying and extraordinarily productive work to be done taking these things on. You can check our website. We'll be around for the next few days. We'll have a session.